Next is labor raids and inspection. Now, what happens at the time of the labor raid? The inspecting authority, the inspector, labor enforcement officer, can ask you lots of questions. They can check your records. They'll say, get me this file, get me that file. They will take copies. They will say, give me a photocopy, or they'll take your original away also. They have the right to do that. Okay. They will ask you for information. They'll say, what happened here? And you won't know, what to say if there's a gap. Okay. So that is one thing. Second thing is they'll go back after the raid. They'll prepare a report and they'll send you and they'll say that these are our observations. Send us a compliance report. Another thing that can happen before the raid is they can ask you what is your status of compliance here. Provide us all the information. This can happen before raid also. Then they can do a raid and then they can send you another report. Okay, and this can happen under different statutes. You have 3-4 different parallel machineries. ESI machinery is different. PF machinery is different. And other labor statutes, you have the labor commissioner and the labor inspector who have powers under multiple laws to take action. Okay, so they could take action under minimum wages inspection. They could do Payment of Wages Act inspection. They could do under other laws also, Payment of Gratuity Act. So they get power. The common system is there. Of state government is separate, central government system is separate. But they will have their officer, like a labor commissioner. They'll say, okay, we are notifying you. State government will say you will implement for all of these 8-9 statutes. Okay, like that it happens. For central government, it's different. Now the thing is that in most organizations, initially HR managers struggle with this, that okay, sometimes central authority comes, sometimes state authority comes. Okay, but you have to keep responding. You also sometimes have to object that, okay, hello, you don't have jurisdiction to do the inspection. Okay, sometimes the wrong inspector may turn up, okay, not knowing that they don't have jurisdiction. So you will have to say that you don't have jurisdiction here. We are under the central government and you are the state government inspector. Contract workmen a lot of times write to the labor authorities stating that they worked with you, not the contractor's name, but your company's name, saying that they weren't paid and they don't refer to the contractor. This comes to you. And when they do that, the issue never remains for a labor authority for that contract workman, but your whole process of dealing with contractors and contract employees, which means that you have to not only show that this was done, but you also have to show that with all the contract employees, your data maintenance is proper, you're doing audits. Sometimes they ask you so much data that it's very difficult to organize and they don't give you enough time. So presentation of that data becomes important. Asking for time at the right points becomes very, very important. Right? And then in the raid, it's going to be a tense environment, right? And you may be the only person. You may need access to finance team. You may need access to others. So raids is never something that the HR manager alone will handle. There will be some amount of preparation that you will have to do with the finance team together, maybe with the senior management. That if I need to call you here, the branch manager or the regional manager, I will call you for this kind of clarity, and you will need to assist. Okay, that you need to support. So that kind of arrangement will be needed. A prior inspection drill is needed. But for that, you have to know that which are the authorities who can come and what can they possibly request. What will they request? They can't request anything and everything which is outside the scope of their powers under the law, right? That will make no sense. So you need to know that what are the 20 things they can ask you under the labor laws. Okay, those things you have to keep very well. Okay, now that is how you have to deal with the rates. Then after you get a report, the inspector's report and labor LEO, it's called labor enforcement officer's report. So they will send it to you. Then they'll say that draft a compliance report and send us back a response in 7 days time. You may or may not be able to comply in that much time. If you can't comply, you need to send them a response before saying that I need this much additional time to get more details. Ideally, give them some details and say that this we are still collecting, we'll give you in some more time. Okay, but people get stuck because the data requested often becomes complicated. Okay, so this is the part where you have to comprehensively address this. Otherwise, what will they do? They will infer that we've done a raid, we've identified that this is missing, we've given the company an opportunity to clarify it, and they have not done that. So now we can initiate a criminal proceeding. They will file a complaint before a magistrate to take criminal action. All the labor laws, you can see there is a provision called offenses. Offenses by companies is also there and offenses is also there. If that happens, the complaint goes before the criminal court, and the person in charge, you will have the company and the director of the company. So it's no longer on you anymore, the director also will be named. That's when matters get very big. Okay, so you want to ensure every time that the matter doesn't get escalated to that state. Keeping management updated. If you do a fantastic job of keeping things under control but you don't keep management updated, what will they say? That you've not done anything. What are you doing in your job? Right? So you want to always have a proactive approach where you say that this is our risk, this is what we've done, this is how we handled the last inspection, and we've sent these responses, this is the volume of communications we do. Because tomorrow, if you need to hire a junior, you need to expand the team to deal with the legal side of things, then you will have that bandwidth if you are keeping management updated. A lot of your information sometimes will need to go where? To the legal department also. And it may come up in due diligences when, let's say, your company wants to expand. Okay, so they want to raise capital. So when they look for investors or they look for lenders, for banks, they will ask they'll conduct a diligence to understand about different legal aspects about the company, financial aspects about the company, and technical aspects about the company. Where your role comes in is with respect to the legal aspects and the labor part of the legal aspects. So for that, your data has to be thorough. And under the Companies Act, you must know every year there is a report. एक रिपोर्ट फाइल की जाती है, एनुअल रिपोर्ट, जिसमें डायरेक्टर्स का एक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी स्टेटमेंट होता है. वहां पर काफी चीजें एम्प्लॉयमेंट लॉ से जा सकती हैं. अभी जैसे एक स्पेसिफिक डिक्लेरेशन जाता है पॉश के बारे में, तो इसलिए आपके यहाँ से रिपोर्ट क्लियरली जाना चाहिए, वरना प्रॉब्लम हो.